Just want to go over some quick points about WP Ad Genie. One, make visitors notice your ads again. I think we all know that many visitors are now ad blind. So they come to your site almost like a racehorse would, with the blinders on so he doesn't see the other horses from on the left or the right hand side of him. He wears a set of blinders. Just the same type of tunnel vision our visitors are now using when they're visiting our sites. They basically don't see anything but the content, and whatever borders the content, which is typically our ads, they go completely unnoticed. You can hold attention now because people like cool visuals on web pages. This will even cause your bounce rate to go down because people will actually watch these ads if you're very creative with them. Ad Genie uses the WordPress post editor function, so you can virtually put anything you want in it, but it's also extremely easy because it's already something you're familiar with. You can set the ads to be closable by the user or make them unable to be closed. If you set the ads as closable, you can set Ad Genie to set a number of days before ads are displayed to the same user again. You can also set it so ads will always be displayed, but they are allowed to close them for that instance. So what we mean here and what you'll see is that when you set an ad to be closable, a tiny little X will show up at the top right-hand corner of the ad. This will allow the user to click the X and close the ads. Now, if you want to make it so that the user doesn't have to see ads again on your site, you set the number of days, and let's say you set it to 10. You set 10 days. If somebody closes the ads, they won't see ads on your site again for 10 days. You can also make it closable for that instance. So, for example, if they're on a page right now and they just want to close the ads because they're annoying them or something, they can close the ads and read your site. But if they come back to the page or go to another page on the site, the ads will still appear. Links that you have set for the images, or even text links that you may have in the ads, will not show the affiliate link. So people, when they hover over a link or hover over an ad, they won't see the actual crazy affiliate link. It'll be something like yourdomain.com / and a pound sign. So you notice when you hover over something, now for instance, here in PowerPoint, we just see it listed and showing yourdomain.com. But in the status bar of a browser, which is typically down towards the bottom, people will see when they hover over a link or something on your page, they typically see where that link is going to. In the case of the ads, what they'll see is just basically yourdomain.com / and a pound sign. So that gets rid of the ugliness of the links and some of the things that people get scared of when they see this crazy long affiliate link with a bunch of funky characters showing that when they click on that, it's going to take them there. You can do right to left, left to right, or top to bottom, or bottom to top. And what that means is an ad can come in, and it'll typically come in on the right-hand side, depending on how you set your spacing. But let's say it comes in on the right-hand side of the browser. It'll wait a certain interval until it moves to the other side, and it'll come in with an animation, wait that certain limit, then move across the screen, wait the certain limit that you want it to, and then exit the screen. And then it will go to the next ad in the ad group. Same for top to bottom. It'll go from top to bottom, bottom, back to top. It can be the same ad that you want to display over and over again, or it can be a different ad. You can add multiple ads in groups. There are 14 different in and out animations. You got bounce in direction, fade in direction, flip in, light speed in, rotate in, down left, rotate in, down right, rotate in, up left, rotate in, up right, swing, and ta-da. And these things give you some very cool visuals. You can set the transparency level so that the site can still be seen when the ad transitions to the new location. So, for example, if you have a tall ad, let's say a 160 by 600 ad, which is common size for like a sidebar type ad, if you have that ad, when it transitions across the screen to the right-hand side or to the left-hand side, you can set a transparency where you can still see as the ad goes across the screen, you can still see the site through it. That's kind of a neat visual as well. Because of the grouping ability, which I was talking about just a second ago, you can keep ads grouped tightly by niche, display the same ads, or basically tell a story with your ads, because what happens is the ads that you have in that group, they will display in the order that you set. You can drag and drop the order that you want the ads to be displayed. Since the ads will run in the order that you specify, you can be as creative as you want to be. All upgrades to the plugin are free. You will actually be notified in your admin panel that an upgrade is available. Just like many other programs or actual other plugins, so updating is quick and easy. Now we're going to take a look at the inside of the plugin just so I can show you how easy it is to use it. Ad Genie is actually really easy to use. And if you go into Ad Genie when you first install it on your WordPress site, you'll notice that if you click on Ad Genie, it'll show you the menu here for updates, which will show you the last time an update check was made and the next update check when it will be. And that's just checking for updates to the actual plugin. Now the main options to get your advertisements up are adverts and groups. If you go to adverts, here we have a bunch of different ones that are on the WP Ad Genie site itself. And if we go into one of these, you'll notice that it's basically a post editor just like WordPress would typically have. Some of the extra icons that you may see here are just from some other plugins that I have installed. They have nothing to do with Ad Genie. But you get to select whether you want a standard HTML or JavaScript type advertisement, or if you want a video. And if you wanted a video, you'd be able to put a YouTube URL or a self-hosted URL, like an Amazon S3 URL in here, and then set some of the settings like autoplay or do not autoplay, show controls, don't show controls, etc. In this case, we've got a standard image for an ad here. If we can also set a link here, and that will do the link cloaking type feature that I was mentioning before in the slides. So once you have an advertisement created, because you can just hit add new here at any time and make a new one, you'll want to group them. And what you'll do here is create groups. Now these groups are basically where the animation and everything is handled for the adverts or the advertisements. Right here you can activate or deactivate the ad group very quickly and easily, but also inside, if we take a look at one of these, you'll notice that you give the group a name. You set the height and the width of the images or whatever you have in the ad. You set the animation in and the animation out. For instance, we've got all the 14 different animations for the in and for the out in here. You decide whether you want this to be a horizontal, in other words, scrolling across the screen, back, left to right, right to left, or vertical, which would be top to bottom, bottom to top. The opacity is set so that, like I had mentioned in the slides, you can set the ad to actually be somewhat transparent, so that when it slides across the screen you still see the site behind it, which is actually a cool feature. Now obviously if you use something like transparent ping image, you'll also get that same effect. Spacing is basically where it's going to start and how far across the screen it's going to go. So if I set this at, like, say for instance 400, there's a good chance the ad will be somewhere right around here and then slide across 400 pixels and end up at its ending destination. So the spacing is basically how far it slides and where it starts, etc. Pause, seconds before scrolling, is when an ad comes in, how long it'll wait before it actually moves across the screen. So if you're running different ads on your site and you don't want to annoy people, then obviously you could either bring the ad in, let it hurry up and slide, set this to 0 right over here, or you could wait a while and then eventually transition it across the screen however many seconds you tell it to wait here. And then this, seconds after scrolling, is how long it'll take before the ad actually exits the screen. Closable, this is what I was talking about before in the slides. You can make it no, as it's not closable. Yes, but do not display advert group to for a number of days. So if I click this, the days option will come up here, and I can say 30 days or whatever. I don't want somebody to see an ad again. Or yes, but display advert group next time they're there. So if you say yes, display ad group next time they're there, they can click the ad, the X on the ad, turn the ads off for the page that they're currently on, but any other page they go to, if it has ads set up, or if they come back to that same page, the ads will be on again. Now, loop ads, you can say no or you can say yes. Now what that means is, down here you see adverts. This is how many different adverts we have in the group. If I have this set to yes, what will happen is it'll show the advertisement for demo 1, it'll show the advertisement for demo 2, 3, and 4, and then after it's done, it'll loop back to 1, 2, 3, and 4 and keep running those ads in a cycle. If you say no to loop ads, then it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'll be it. It won't show ads anymore. So that's really up to you. And what you do to add an advert is select it from the drop down box here, click add, and then it'll be placed right here in the list for this group. You can also move them, the order that they're in, just by sticking your mouse cursor right here with the up and down arrows that it shows, and you can drag it to change the order. Now you can also get statistics for the actual ad clicks, etc., and it will not count an admin's click or an admin's view of these ads, but for visitors you'll be able to check these statistics for the actual group. You'll also be able to tell it to show the this group site-wide, globally. That means any page or anywhere that they go on your site, you'll see that ad group, or just the home page, or just posts, or just post categories. So if we had a bunch of post categories, we could select categories for different ad groups. Now this would be exceptionally good if you have different products that are grouped by categories. You can also do it by pages. This will obviously, license keys and products will not show up in yours. That's just because of a post type that we have inside of this blog. But you can also select pages, like I was saying. Now when you want to activate the ad group from inside of where you create it, then you would select that, click that so that it was on and it's blue, and then click update post. But if you do it from the groups page, you don't have to do that. You can just click it one way or the other. Now this is because I had a test video one and it was set to the home page targeting so that it would show up on the main page. So I'm going to turn this off and I turn this on, and now we see when we go to the Ad Genie site how we can see these ads right now. Now obviously this group, if I set this to, let's say, this will show a perfect example, I'll update this to 400 pixels, and then I will restart this, and it shows up here. Now after 5 seconds it'll transition, and it'll be right here. And I believe we have that set to 15 seconds, so we'll wait here 15 seconds and we'll see it transition out. There we go. Very simple to use, very simple to set up. Of course, like if I set this to, let's say, well, we were somewhat in there, so I'll say 4:30, and then I update this ad group and I hit refresh. Now we'll see we're outside of the bounding area of the actual blog, so we're more like where a sidebar or something would be. So it's really that simple and that easy to set up, and it can do wonders for your click-through, your bounce rate, etc. You'll definitely love this plugin.